Good morning, Don Palayo here in Jacksonville, Florida on Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Just wanted to check in with you guys. Yesterday was a little different. I did go out with my daughter yesterday. She was not feeling her best yesterday. She was feeling bad. I could tell even when I got there that she wasn't feeling too good. We did go out. We did go to St. Augustine together and went and got lunch down there. But we didn't stay very long. She wasn't feeling too good, so I took her back home and got her comfortable. She said she wanted to be alone for a little while. She just didn't seem to be feeling good. Her mom said that she may have been having some of the female things going on right now, so she just wasn't feeling too good. Anyway, but we still enjoyed the day yesterday. Tomorrow we're supposed to go to the movies, and we're going to go see that movie about training a dragon or something. I'm not sure. I'm a little out of the loop on some of this stuff, but it was a movie she's been wanting to see, so I think it's coming out tomorrow. I noticed in the news the inflation report was just released. The most recent inflation report, and it was a good report. Inflation came in cooler than expected, and so stocks are rising as a result of that. Trump they've made a tentative deal with China. I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I don't trust the Chinese as far as I could throw them. The Chinese government, as far as I could throw them. The Chinese people seem pretty friendly and all, typically, but their government, I just don't trust them at all. So I'm gonna be real honest with you. It feels like everything's gotten worse ever since we started trading with China. Ever since Nixon went to China back in the 1970s and opened up trading between us, I feel like things have just gotten worse. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if things went back to the way it was before that. So, to be perfectly honest, that's kind of the way I feel about it. Let me know what you guys think. I know we get a lot of things from China cheaper than we could make them here, but to me, it's just it would make sense if we diversified our supply chains a little bit. It's like, okay, so we need less expensive labor. Well, there's other places to get less expensive labor other than China. We can go to Vietnam, we can go to Central South America, places and get some of these things made. It's like we don't have to do everything in China. We've just been enriching this communist government over there who's threatening its neighbors. I don't see that it's doing as much good. So that's kind of how I feel about that. They said that the tariffs on China are going to be dropped. I think they had them at like 145%. They're going down to 55%. So, small victories, right? China's agreed to give us some rare earth metals. I think it sounds like Trump's going to allow Chinese students to come back into the country, which is fine as long as they're not bringing in bioweapons into our country. We've had a few cases of that here recently, where some of these Chinese students have been bringing in different contagions, things to damage our food supply, things like that. Let's try to keep that stuff out. Hopefully they're checking all these people for things like that as they're coming in. I think right now all Americans should be doing what they can to stock up, to be getting prepared. I know it's a little difficult with the price of things these days, but I don't know if things are going to get much better before they get worse. I've done a little bit of quote unquote prepping. I've got some basic staples packed away in my house back in North Carolina. I need to do more. I do have some firearms, a little bit of ammunition. I actually made a log of all of my ammo. I looked at my ammo supply, and I made a list of what I've got, and I've actually got a pretty decent amount. It's like I have a few firearms, and I don't hardly ever break them out. Sometimes I went shooting with my cousin. We'd go to a range or something and go shooting, but that's about the only time I ever use them. That is the only time I've ever used them. But I need to practice more. I need to get more adept, with handling the firearms and things like that. I mean, a revolver is pretty straightforward. I do have a revolver, and that's pretty easy. The AR-15 and even the 12-gauge shotgun, there's a few little, you slide the cartridge into the gun, and then, I always thought you just put the cartridge in the gun, slid the thing back, and then fired, but there's a lever or two on there that I have to flip and do things with, and I've got to figure all that out. But I didn't grow up around guns at all when I was growing up. My cousin did grow up around guns, and he's very familiar with it. And he's the one that's kind of showed me how to do things. I need to go back and get him to show me how to do some of those things again. But I've got a decent amount of ammo for anything that, any small event that might happen. My only concern is if something big were to happen. It's like if things really started falling apart here in the United States. I don't know. I think that may still be a few decades off if it ever does happen. We'll see. I want to get. I have a small 2-person tent, but I would like to get a larger, like 8-person size tent that I would keep in my car in case we ever had to like bug out and get somewhere. It's like I could get my parents and get my my brother and go, and we'd have plenty of room. My daughter in North Carolina, I'd have to figure out, where we're all going to be, I have an aunt and uncle that have a farm, very rural, very remote area, and I think that's probably where we would go if something really bad were to happen, and at least we would have a tent, we'd have a place to be temporarily until things kind of got sorted out, I don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to get that bad during my parents' lifetimes. My parents my dad's 74, my mom's going to be 69 next month. I don't know if they're going to live to see it. I don't know if I'm going to live to see it. But yeah, I think everybody's just feeling like something significant is coming. Something significant changing. There's more risks than any time in my lifetime, I think. When I was growing up, I still remember being in elementary school, and we worried about nuclear things. They would have us go into the hallway and put our heads up against the wall and all of that. I don't know. I don't know if. I don't think that's going to be the way it happens. I think it's going to be more local cartels, gangs, that sort of thing. I don't think it's going to be country versus country as much as it's going to be violence within, by groups. But I guess we'll just have to see, right? I just think everybody should be really trying to prepare, stocking up what they can, food, emergency clothing and blankets and things like that, just to keep you warm in case you lose power. I mean, especially if you live in a place where it's cold in the winter, you might want to have some emergency blankets, clothing, extra clothing, heating sources. You can use candles and like terracotta pots to heat a room. That's a way that you can stay warm, at least temporarily, as long as you have enough candles. um, there's things that we can do, but anyway, I just think everybody should be really preparing, getting things together. Really got to focus on, okay, if things really went south, think about where you would go if you felt like you had to. Are you going to bug out? Or are you going to try to bug in your house? I kind of think about my home. In some ways, it's a good location because I'm a half a mile from the hospital. I'm right in the middle of everything. The mall is like half a mile from my house. But if things were to go bad, it might not be such a good location. The good thing is I have a lot of neighbors close by that are right there. I don't have much land, so I'm not able to grow a whole lot. I do have a small patio area where I could probably grow some vegetables and things like that, but sometimes I think I'd like to live more rurally, out in the country a little bit more, but I don't know. That may or may not happen. We'll see. At least not anytime soon. I'm trying to pay off as much of my debt as I can, getting my unsecured debt paid off. I'm working on getting my car paid down, my car balance paid down, and then eventually I'm going to get to the point where I'm paying the house. And fortunately, I have a pretty low interest rate on the house, so once I start paying a lot of extra money on the house, I'll really start seeing that balance come down. So, anyway, everybody needs to be thinking about what they can do to be a little bit more self-sufficient. If problems arise, you don't want to be dependent on anyone or the government for your subsistence. That's not the position that you want to be in, So let's get out there. Let's put some extra canned goods away. Put some. If you have a deep freezer, you can store extra meat. I would like to get myself a deep freezer. It's one of the things I've been thinking about. I have a regular size freezer on my refrigerator, but that doesn't hold that much. I want to get a chest freezer to hold extra meat. Other than that, I guess we'll just take it a week, a month at a time, and just see how things play out. I know that Trump is trying to get some things fixed in the country. He wants to get a little bit more order in the country. Right now there are a lot of people in the country illegally that shouldn't be living in the country. My contact is driving me crazy over here. And he's trying to, we need migrant labor, but we need to get the criminal element out. At least, the people that are committing other crimes while they're here. And then, the other people, maybe we can work something out, because we do need migrant labor in the United States. Anyway, you guys have a great day. I'm going to try to do something with this contact. It's driving me nuts. And I will talk to you all again soon.